everyone, welcome back to my channel. It has been too long since I have last made a video here on YouTube, at least one of these long form videos. I have very proudly been very active with my YouTube shorts, but I have unfortunately in the process been neglecting my primary video type of content. But I'm back, so sorry for the wait. As you can see, a lot of things have changed. First off, my hair is no longer brown. It is now like this dirty blonde. I got it bleached a couple weeks ago, or actually like maybe a month or two ago. So yeah, it's kind of this weird dirty blonde going on here. And also you might have noticed that I'm in a completely different area. That's because me and Kenny moved to a new apartment. So pretty cool, I would say so, at least. But welcome back to my channel. Today, I am going to be turning myself into Heather Mason, who is the main character in Silent Hill 3. This is a really neat character, a character that I feel like I pull off fairly easy. I feel like I have pretty similar features to this character already. I have actually only cosplayed this character once before, and it was just for Patreon, so this is a character that I'm really only for the first time actually showing to the public here on YouTube, so I'm pretty excited for that. If you're new here and you have no idea what I'm going on about, hello, my name is Star, otherwise I'm very simply known as Lady Dead Rabbit. I'm a cosplayer, and here on YouTube I like to primarily focus my content on cosplay and then also a bit of gaming, which, by the way, for those of you who are sticking around for my Witcher Let's Play, do not worry, I will be getting back into the series. I've kind of just had to put that on hold because I wanted to focus on some of my other content, and then of course I moved, so you know, a lot of things have been going on, but do not worry, I will be starting back and I will be playing some more episodes of that Let's Play, so definitely stick around for that. I'm excited to get back into The Witcher. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the makeup process of turning ourselves into Heather Mason from Silent Hill 3. The first thing that you'll need to do in order to transform yourself into the lovely Heather Mason is, of course, you're going to need to change your eye color, unless you already have brown eyes. Heather has an interesting mix of having like yellowish, goldish eyes to brown, and for this, I decided to just pick a pair of Dolly brown lenses. I, of course, will link these contacts down below. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these contacts in because you can see my eyes quite aren't brown. They're a little bit more of a hazel green. So I really gotta sell this look. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on these contacts. All right, so now I have in my contact lenses. Like I said, these are Dolly contact lenses, so they do make my eyes quite a bit bigger, which I think is a little bit of an overkill for this character. You can, of course, just get normal brown, goldish brown contacts, and you should be fine for this character. But I got this for the multi-purpose of also using it for Ada Wong, and Ada has very big eyes, so that's why I got Dolly lenses. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be prepping my skin. As you can see, my skin has been breaking out, at least for the past 2 days. Like I got this mark here and I got this over here. I have no idea what's going on. And also in general, it's good to prep your skin, especially whenever you're doing cosplay makeup, because it just makes it more seamless for whenever you contour your features to look like whatever character you're cosplaying about. So whatever your skin prep routine looks like, go ahead and do that. For me, I mean, I do my skincare after my shower at night, and then also first thing whenever I get up in the morning. But really just to prep it to put on cosplay makeup, I'm going to be putting on some primer. This is a very simple primer. It's just Fit Me by Maybelline. You can get this pretty much anywhere. It's really affordable. I'm a cheap girl, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and I'm just blending it out with a normal beauty blender brush. This is the brush that I am using in case you're interested. This is what the head of it looks like. Very simple. Just gonna go ahead and pop this on. All right, now that I have my skin all nice and prepped and ready for makeup, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with my base layer, which of course is just some foundation. This is what I'm using because this is just my complexion, or at least this is the closest thing I can get to my complexion. Luckily, Heather Mason is a character who is also pale, just like me. So if you are a bit more of a bronze skin person, or maybe someone who just have more like warm features, I recommend maybe getting a cooler foundation just to make yourself look a little bit more pale and edgy and emo like this character. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on. I'm sure you already looked at this enough, but that's what I'm using. So just doing a little dab of it and evenly dispersing it all over my face. Okay, as you can see, I'm a little bit paler and my skin is definitely a lot more even and doesn't have as much flaws as it did before. Thank you, foundation. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be highlighting my features to look more like this character. And the way I'm doing that is I am going on with this little concealer stick. It is a concealer foundation stick. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's by Wet n Wild. That is what I got it in. This is the, not sure if you can see it, but that's the color I got mine in, because again, I'm very fair skinned. So I got pretty much the palest I could find from this company, and I'm gonna be using it to really highlight my features. Now with Heather Mason, because she is PlayStation 2 graphics, I'm pretty sure it's the PlayStation 2. It's either PS2 or PS3 that the Silent Hill 3 game is on. Yeah, let me know down in the comments. I'm sorry, I've never played it. I've seen other people play it, but I've not played it myself. But again, she is old video game graphics, so sorry, I'm looking over at my reference and I don't here on my laptop, but I am going to be really just highlighting my eyes. So yeah, and then I'll be very gently just blending it out with a beauty blender. So it'll look a little bit weird, but trust me, you gotta trust the process. Okay, so I have that done. Really, I just did that to blank out my lids, to make them look more prominent for whenever I do the rest of the makeup. Heather's features are very simple. She's a very simple, pretty girl, so you don't have to go too crazy with the highlight. Just enough to really blank out your lids. And again, it's kind of creepy right now, but you gotta trust the process. The next thing I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be doing Heather's absolutely adorable freckles. And if you've seen my previous videos, you already know the absolutely chaotic way that I like to do freckles for cosplay. And that, of course, is using a Sharpie. No, I will not explain myself. No, I will not, okay? You don't have to do what I do. In fact, I recommend not doing what I do, but I'm gonna do what I do. Yeah. Here's freckles are crazy, they're chaotic, they are all over the place, but they're really mostly focused on from her eyes to across her cheeks. If you want to put a little on your chin or a little on your forehead, you're more than welcome to, but that is primarily what I'm going to focus my freckles. I'm going to dab them on with my Sharpie, and then with my other finger, I'm going to just pat them out a bit. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, as you can see, I have the freckles all over my face, and they are evenly dispersed. Somewhat evenly, but they look like actual freckles. One very small detail that I noticed about Heather Mason, and that is that she has a little mole on the left side, bottom of her lips, so I'm just going to do a little, there we go. And now I have a little mole, just like Heather. The next thing I'm going to do is I will now be really contouring my features to look like this character. And the way that I'm going to be doing that is I'm really just going to be using this old blush. That is who it's by. That's what it looks like. And I'm gonna be using it around my eyes. Now I'm gonna be kind of doing like a smoky eye look, really just avoiding the actual lids of my eyes to go around, just to make it look like I have really tired, sad, teary eyes that Heather has. So it's not perfect, but that's what I did. I'm also going to go in with this kind of angled little brush, and I'm just going to do a little bit of this. That's a little too strong, but you get the point, on my cheeks, just to kind of drag down the redness of her eyes like she does on her face. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be filling in my brows like Heather. She actually has pretty clean, concise, just kind of mid-brown eyebrows. So I'll be just using a little normal brown pencil liner, and I'll just be kind of filling in my eyebrows a little bit. Nice, and then the next thing I will be doing is I will be doing a nice little coat on my eyelashes, really just the top of my eyelashes with this mascara. I don't know if you can see it, it's been stretched out a bit, but it's by Essence and it's called Lash Princess. Alright, the lashes are a little bit dramatic, but that's okay. I just naturally have really long eyelashes. The final thing I will be doing to finishing the actual makeup for Heather Mason is I will be just going over my lips with this kind of neutral pinkish, it looks way more pink on camera, but whenever I put it on it won't be that bad, sort of just liquid lipstick. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll put on the rest of the costume, and I'll kind of tell you guys how I put the costume together. Alright, so as you can see, I have my costume for Heather Mason on. The wig is a bit scraggly because, again, I styled it once and I wore it once, and I have not pulled it out of the box since then. I think I might replace it in the future, but this is what I have to work with so far. If you, for whatever reason, like this wig, I, of course, will try and find it and link it down below. I remember I got it off Amazon. I don't remember the exact brand it was from, though. So, yeah. The turtleneck for this costume actually comes from my Ashley Graham costume, which I got from my costumes. The arm braces I got off Amazon. I had a watch. I don't know where I put it, so it's somewhere about. I just do not remember for the life of me where it is right at this moment, so oops. The vest that I'm wearing for Heather, which of course I know is not accurate, nor is it the right length, I just thrifted off of Depop, same thing for the skirt. Also thrifted off of Depop. If you don't know what Depop is, it's basically an online thrift store, which of course I will have a link to the site down below if you wanted to check it out for yourself. I personally am a huge fan of buying off Depop. I actually even sell some of my own costumes on Depop, so if you want to take a look at some of the costumes I'm selling, I will link my profile, my Depop shop down below, so you guys can kind of check that out if you want to. And then the last thing for Heather Mason that I'm wearing are these brown boots. Kind of an awkward angle. Don't know if you can see that. If you follow me on my other socials, you should be able to see it without an issue. But these I got in high school. My mom bought them for me and I just kept them. So I honestly have no idea where she bought them. But I will definitely find some boots that I feel like work for this character, and I'll try and link them down below. Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining me for this YouTube video. Again, so sorry for the wait. That it has been quite a while, but I hope that it's been worth the wait. I am back. I'm going to be creating new content, so don't worry. I'm here. Chill out, okay? If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it as well as sharing it. It really helps my page grow as a content creator. Also, let me know what you guys thought of this video down below. And if you want to find all of my other social medias, I'm a little bit more active sometimes on those pages versus here on YouTube. I will have my link tree down below. Also, in case you guys did not know, I actually have my own store, so I sell my own cosplay prints. So if you want to buy like a calendar for me or like a magazine of some of my cosplays, I will have my Shopify link down below, of course through my link tree. More than welcome to take a look at that. And then of course, if you want to become a member of my Patreon, please consider doing so. It is about $10 a month. You get exclusive cosplay content as well as the ability to put in requests. You also get to see my YouTube videos an entire week before they actually become public on YouTube, so if that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it. It's all going to be linked down below. But without further ado, I'm just going to head out of this video, and until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Well, aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch, no, I don't like her at all.